As travel planning and booking is moving much more to be centered around the smartphone environment, Google has an even greater influence on how destination content is delivered and presented. So Varune, who's Senior Account Executive at Google, is going to share with them their latest insights and vision on how travel is evolving and how Google is responding. So let's welcome Varune to the stage.
Thanks, Chris. Hello, DMO and travel industry. So Varune here from Google. A little bit about me. I've been with the company about 10 years, and I've worked with them across 3 markets, US, India, and Singapore. And I'm an avid traveler. I love traveling. I've been to about 57 countries globally, and I'm really excited about what we're doing with technology here at Google for the travel industry and the opportunity in general to work with travel brands with Google. So some of us can remember a time or currently use this behavior of where when we look to plan a trip, we go to one single source, one phone call or one destination. It's someone that we trust. We get all the information that we need, and it's easy. But what we're seeing is that digital has really changed and transformed that interaction. We're seeing that we have about 10 times more digital touch points for hotels when users are looking for information about that hotel. And it's many touch points for destinations and other attractions. You have to visit multiple sites, blogs, snaps, pins, and now VR. So there's lots of information out there for users to look at. And what we're seeing with the next shift is that we're seeing a huge increase in voice. Voice is 20% of all searches at Google, and it's continually growing. And what is causing that shift? Well, we went from the PC to the web to smartphone, and the next shift is going to be in assistants powered by machine learning. Now, Sundar, our CEO, has noticed this change in behavior in our users and the travel industry as well, and is challenging the entire company to move from mobile first to AI first. Assistants will be universal. It'll be natural. It'll be in your phone, it'll be in your car, it'll be in your TV, and it'll all be powered by machine learning. But first, what is machine learning? So this is sort of the quick 101 on it, and I'm sure you've heard it as a buzz term in the industry. So in typical computer programming, you have rule-based logic. If this, then do that. And that's what the majority of our programming and computer science is based on today. With machine learning, you teach it to complete an objective or a task by giving it lots of information and letting it learn about the particular object or task and solving it on its own. So in this example that you see, it was given thousands and thousands of information and photos specifically about dogs, and thousands of photos that are not dogs. So the next time you're searching for a Chihuahua or a Commandor dog, you're not going to get a blueberry muffin or a mop. So right now, what's powering the assistants and machine learning that you're seeing in some of our Google products is our initial launch of the Google Assistant in some of our products. So let's have a quick look.
When we started, we made this for everyone, so that everyone could find anything they need among the millions and bazillions of things in the world. Today, it seems like sometimes it's easy to feel like you need a little help with stuff just in your own world. Your photos, phone, videos, calendars, messages, friends, trips, reservations, and so on and so on. Wouldn't it be nice if you had some help with all that? Wouldn't it be nice if you had a Google for your world? That's why we're building the Google Assistant. Hi, how can I help? You just ask it what you need. Okay, Google, what do I have to do today?
And your assistant understands and helps you out. You can even carry on a conversation with it. How long will it take to get to downtown Chicago from home?
Here you go.
What restaurants are there? Book a table at Cortino Restaurant.
Sure.
And the assistant is always there for you. So if you're on the road, you can ask it where to fill up. And if you're at home, you can ask it to play some music. Or if you're in a chat with a friend, it can show you what's playing tonight. It's like your own personal Google. Naturally, anything you share with it is safe and secure. And the more you use your Google Assistant, the more useful it becomes. Remember, my byte combo is 326.
Got it.
And soon, you'll be able to access it from all sorts of places, so it will be everywhere you are. We made this for everyone, and today, we're making this just for you.
Hi, how can I help?
Meet your Google Assistant.
So when we look at the behaviors from all the travelers that utilize our Google products, they really fall into 4 key buckets. And this is how we look at the travel journey at Google. There's dreaming, research and booking, experiencing, and sharing. And what we're going to be doing is slowly introducing machine learning and that assistance across an entire journey for the user. So let's talk a little bit about dreaming. 60% of searches currently for destinations are happening on a mobile device. I'm going to pause there because that's a big number, and it continues to grow. So with that information, we've decided to create a product called Destinations on Google, and this is a product that's going to be primarily focused on mobile and helping using that rich, deep information from search and machine learning to help you explore and understand the destination, find the right time to go, and check out some of the prices. And one of the main feedback we got from a lot of the DMOs and our partners was, how do we get information and update information within that product? Well, tomorrow at 2 p.m., my colleagues Maggie, Sven, and Jen will be hosting a workshop where DMOs can learn on how to update, review, and add content specific to the destination that's being captured by this product. So again, that's 2 o'clock tomorrow for the Google workshop on DMO and adding information into destinations. Research and booking. There's a lot of friction when you have to book and research. A lot of times when you look for that information, it's hard to even complete that process, especially on a mobile device. So I just wanted to walk through a quick example. So when someone is searching for Montreal hotels, we don't really know a lot about them. But with machine learning, we're able to actually develop audience lists behind that information so the marketer is able to understand who is behind that search. We're now able to understand, is that person someone who's been to my site? Is that someone that's in my loyalty program? Or is that someone that's not? And if they are in my loyalty program or even in my site, and they're not ever been to my site, how could I find people that are just like them, similar users? So we're seeing more and more information through the power of machine learning applied to the marketing, so we know a little bit more about who's searching behind that keyword. Now, experiencing, by far the best part of the trip, when you actually get to go on it. We're seeing that about 85% of leisure travelers are booking tours and attractions when in destination. Some are even booking their hotels after arriving. Personally, I noticed this change in my own behavior when I know I'm going to a destination where I've got really strong internet for my phone, or I'm going to be really connected via Wi-Fi. So there's a lot less planning that I need to do ahead of that trip, and I sort of just kind of wing it as I go along. So we created a product called Google Trips. This is really to help make vacations better for our users and anyone that downloads the app. So let's have a quick look.
This is Ashley. She's going on a trip. A trip she started planning a while back, but right now feels kinda rushed. 11 hours later, this isn't her hotel. And with no Wi-Fi and no data, she's okay, because Ashley already downloaded Google Trips. So no Wi-Fi? No problem. She has everything she needs to know about her vacation right here on her phone, including how to find her hotel. That's more like it. And now that she's here, working out what to do doesn't need to be quite so overwhelming. Because with Google Trips, Ashley can make her own personalized itinerary for each day, with all her must-see spots laid out on a map to help get her there. And now that she can plan in advance the travel time to each location, she doesn't need to let any opportunity pass her by. All that sightseeing is hungry work. Hang on a second. Ashley, remember that place you saved that your friend Jane recommended? Yep, this one. Right around the corner. Known for being Picasso's old stomping ground. So wherever Ashley goes on vacation, Google Trips will always give her everything she needs, right at her fingertips. Nice work, Ashley.
So this brings us to our final step. We're done with the trip, we get home. What do? We share our photos and our videos with our friends and families. But if you're like me, the SD card's probably still in the camera, or there's a drawer full of SD cards that you've pretty much done not a lot with. We're starting to also see throughout the year, there's over 1 trillion photos that are being taken by users. And with the Google Photos app powered by machine learning and the Google Assistant, you now have a single repository to put all of those photos and videos. It collects it by timeline and creates groups around people, objects, and even destinations that you've been to. So let's take a look at my own personal Google Photos account. So if I search for Mexico City, Frida Kahlo, it pulls up my trip from January because it knows all of that context around the photos that I've uploaded into my Google Photos account. So again, what's really exciting for me is where technology is taking the future of travel. And the good news is you're not late. It's very much the early stages for all of this. So if you've not nailed mobile first, I would say that should be some of the things that you should be focused on. As mentioned, 60% of destination queries are happening on mobile. But if not, there's still some time. So again, good news, you're not late. What machine learning really does is allows you to complete complex tasks much faster than we've ever been able to. And what it can do is then help solve some of your key business challenges. And it's not for large businesses only, it's really for anybody. So let me give you one example. What we're looking at here on the screen is a cucumber farm in Japan. It's a small mom and pop shop. It was the mom, the dad, and their son happens to be an engineer. So they did have that in their favor. But this engineer was able to develop a visual sorter using our Vision API and machine learning to automatically sort via vision the different cucumbers that his mom and dad produces. Is it too long? Is it too short? Is it medium? Is it bumpy? There are many kinds of cucumbers that are grown that were typically hand sorted by his mom and dad before they get sent to the different markets. But because of his introduction of machine learning and our open source Vision API, he was able to help alleviate that very manual process for a tiny small farm. So we have other APIs like the Speech API and as well as Translate API. And I won't get into this, but TensorFlow for the really techie people in the room. So what I really challenge you is to think about who are the brightest and best at your companies that can start going into some of these great white papers and resources around vision, machine learning, Translate, and speech, and start developing some of the solutions for your business for the future. So really, to really close for you is how can you use machine learning to solve the biggest challenges in your companies? Thank you.